You're watching USA News Hub, your home for breaking headlines, trending sports stories, and exclusive updates from across the nation. Imagine a 7-year-old girl in the Philippines, so small she could barely look over the net, firing blistering two-handed forehands and backhands like a seasoned pro. Now imagine that same little girl, 13 years later, becoming the highest-ranked Filipino tennis player of all time, and being chosen by Rafael Nadal himself as his first practice partner exactly 1 year after his retirement. This isn't fiction. This is the meteoric rise of Alexandra Eala, and her story is rewriting tennis history. At just 20 years old, Alexandra Eala stands at world number 50, the highest singles ranking any Filipino athlete, male or female, has ever achieved. For a nation that has long dreamed of tennis glory, Eala isn't just a rising star. She's a historic figure. But what makes her story truly extraordinary is how far back her journey goes, and who eventually stood beside her on the court. Let's rewind to 2012. It was October in Puerto Princesa. The Palawan Pawnshop Age Group Championships were underway, a junior event filled mostly with kids chasing dreams, learning the sport, and having fun. Among them was a tiny 7-year-old named Alex Eala. She wasn't tall. She wasn't famous. She wasn't expected to dominate. Yet even at that age, something was different. She hit two-handed forehands, a rarity. She hit two-handed backhands, with surprising weight. She hit ball after ball with relentless energy. She rallied endlessly with her older brother, Miko, showing maturity and focus far beyond her years. Her father, Mike, and her grandfather, Bobby Maniego, her first coach, stood courtside watching a child who would someday change Philippine sports. No one knew it then. But a star was forming. Move forward to 2018, the year everything changed. It was the year the Rafael Nadal Academy in Mallorca extended a life-changing invitation to both Eala siblings. Train here, study here, and grow into world-class athletes. Alex accepted the scholarship at just 13 years old. And that's where the magic truly began. While Rafa Nadal was still competing full-time and didn't coach her personally, the young Filipina was impossible to ignore. Fierce eyes. Fearless spirit. A fire that couldn't be taught. She trained under some of the world's best developmental coaches. She learned discipline, professionalism, and championship mentality, the exact values the Nadal Academy is known for. She grew up there. She matured there. She built her identity there. She graduated in 2023, but her name wouldn't stay quiet for long. Flash forward to 2025. This is when Alexandra Eala exploded onto the world stage and captured international attention, especially in the United States. Her breakout moment came at the Miami Open in March, and the entire tennis world watched in disbelief. Ranked number 140. Given a wild card, nothing more. But what she delivered was the run of her life. In one of the most dramatic Cinderella stories in Miami history, Alex defeated former French Open champion Yelena Ostapenko, American powerhouse Madison Keys, a world number 1 Iga Swiatek. In straight sets, she became the first Filipino to reach a WTA 1000 semifinal and the first ever wild card to defeat 3 Grand Slam champions in straight sets in the same tournament. Social media erupted. Fans in the United States, the Philippines, Spain, everywhere, suddenly knew her name. Her personality, humility, and intensity made her an instant fan favorite. Though she eventually lost to Jessica Pegula, the record she broke will last forever. It was the moment when Alexandra Eala transformed from promising junior into a global contender. But that wasn't all. Later that year, she achieved another historic milestone, winning the Guadalajara 125 in Mexico. This was the first challenger-level WTA title ever won by a Filipina, and it pushed her ranking into the top 100, then the top 75, and eventually into the top 50. By November 2025, she was a global phenomenon. And then, the moment no one saw coming, on November 19, 2025, exactly 1 year after Nadal played his final Davis Cup match and retired from tennis, the 22-time Grand Slam champion stepped back onto the court at his own academy. He could have chosen any young player, any rising star. Any top junior or academy talent. He chose Alexandra Eala. T was a symbolic moment, a passing of the torch, a sign of respect, and a message to the tennis world that this Filipina athlete had arrived. Nadal posted after their session. 1 year later, it felt great to be back on a tennis court. It was great to practice with you, Alex. Next time, I will be stronger. Simple, sincere, powerful. And Alex's response said it all. Thank you for today, Rafa. For millions of fans, this wasn't just a practice session. It was validation. It was destiny. It was the greatest Spanish tennis player of all time acknowledging the rising pride of Southeast Asia. Now, as we look toward 2026, the excitement surrounding Alexandra Eala is reaching new heights, especially in the United States, where her Miami run created a huge fan base. From January 26 to 31, 2026, the Philippines will host the Philippine Women's Open, a WTA 125 tournament at the iconic Rizal Memorial Sports Complex. With a 32-player singles draw, a 16-team doubles field, and $115,000 in total prize money, this event marks a turning point in Philippine tennis history. Will Alex play in front of her home fans? The answer is complicated, because at the exact same time, the Australian Open will be in its final week. If Eala makes a deep run, the dream scenario, she'll still be competing in Melbourne. In that case, she'll miss the Manila event. But if she exits early, she could travel home quickly and compete, with thousands of cheering Filipino fans waiting to watch her live. Either way, there's no losing. If she's in Manila, fans win. If she's still fighting in the Australian Open, her career wins. Right now, Alexandra Eala is playing the best tennis of her life. She has height. She has power. She has fearlessness. She has the Nadal-style mental toughness carved into her from years in Mallorca. And perhaps most importantly, she's only 20 years old. Her story isn't finished. In fact, it's only beginning. What we're witnessing is the rise of a global star, not just for the Philippines, not just for Asia, but for the entire tennis world. From a tiny, determined 7-year-old hitting balls in Puerto Princesa, to a young woman taking out the world #1 in Miami, to becoming the highest-ranked Filipino player in history, to hitting with Rafael Nadal himself, Alexandra Eala is proving what heart, discipline, and belief can accomplish. And as 2026 approaches, there's one thing everyone, especially fans in the USA, can agree on: the world needs to brace itself. Because Alexandra Eala is coming. And she's coming fast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a story that's shaping America and the world. We'll see you in the next update.